This is a video response to Sabot96 on the video Destiny is Brainwashing. Okay, so the first point you bring up in your video is Destiny is Brainwashing, and how we want to clear people's heads to nothingness, so there is nothing in their head, no thoughts, nothing. Your brain got washed. Now, I don't see any problem with this currently, because if you look at the world, there is no good thought. There's only shit, crap, evil thoughts. That's why the world is pure evil. That's why we are self-destructive. That's why we're destroying and killing, because we participate in thoughts. And stopping the thoughts within ourselves is realizing ourselves as physical, as reality, as real, instead of a bubble in our heads as thoughts. Now, you go on a rampage in your blog of how Destiny must get real, and how we must get real and real, but I mean, thoughts isn't real. Hasn't your science show you that their thoughts isn't real? I mean, where does it go you? You keep on using your brain and your thoughts, but that's not real. Reality is you physically here, being able to touch you, being able to walk, to move, to direct. And so stopping the thoughts is realizing you as the physical, realizing you here as breath. And self-forgiveness is to clear yourself, to forgive yourself for the thoughts, emotions and feelings that you have participated in, and accept and allowed as yourself, as a belief of yourself, something else than the physical reality that is here. So we are actually washing our brains here at Destiny, yes, and then we are clear of that, and we can focus on reality, the physical reality that is here, the one dimension, realizing we are one dimension, taking out all the other dimensions that we have created within ourselves. That's what we mean by multi-dimensions. Not multi-dimensions as you're walking into another world from this dimension, 3D dimensional reality, into a 4D dimensional reality. No, we're talking about dimensions as in frameworks of things, like layers. For instance, you have dimensions of thoughts. You have this thought that originated from another thought. Thus there is 2 dimensions to the thought, and then there is multi-dimensions to the thought. And through doing self-forgiveness and applying yourself in self-forgiveness, you are stopping the conscious mind, moving into the subconscious, breathing through it, because it all flows by us so fast. We cannot see the thoughts that is directing us, controlling us, creating resonances within us when we do things. So through applying self-forgiveness, you're slowing down, you're breathing. And when the thought comes, you can catch it, stop it, forgive it, delete it, move on. And later on, into the unconscious, into the resonances, etc. So, slamming Destiny for being a brainwashing cult group, rather do proper investigation and understanding through applying the tools yourself. Applying self-forgiveness for yourself to understand why we're applying self-forgiveness. Instead, you ramp on in your vlog about what crap self-forgiveness is, and self-honesty, the principles of oneness and equality. I mean, here in your vlog you say self-forgiveness, and then you say, well, you know what, there's absolutely no proof that any of that actually occurs. When you're participating in forgiveness, you are using the ego to forgive yourself that you've done something. Okay, now, I just explained to you how it works. If you have applied yourself in self-forgiveness, you would have seen how you move through consciousness and into the subconsciousness, and you would see how you can actually see it. You can stop it. But you haven't applied that, so now you're reacting to it and you're bashing it open and giving crap on your video to other people. So it's best to first actually apply something completely, fully, and then understand it instead of just guessing it. Since you're into science, I guess you're only into observing instead of seeing the actuality of because everything in science is a simple observation. Two people observe one thing, both see something else. So what's real? The physical is real, not the observation. The actual participation. And that's what we are doing, participating within the process actually. Clear your own mind. See, wash your own fucking brain. We don't do it for you. We give you tools, yeah, but you apply it yourself. And you wash your own brain, realize you are breath in the physical here. One and equal to the atom, to the breath, everything, oneness, equality. And then you bring up the point of people have lived and died for principles thousands of times, and you bring up examples of yourself where you say living for the principle to commit suicide is a principle. Living for the principle of your country and to die for your country and create wars for your country is a principle. Now you're bashing the principle of oneness and equality as not being any different, but yet it is completely different. Because if you live by the principle of committing suicide, of not loving yourself and wanting to commit suicide, and you're willing to do that, then why not change that commitment of living to a principle to oneness and equality and bring equal life to earth, to all life? I mean, will you be that committed for equality in a principle living way, practically, physically, here, in reality, on earth? Our principle actually matters and stands for that which is best for all. And it's not giving up yourself, it is giving to yourself oneness and equality. If you give yourself to the whole group, you're everything. If you give yourself to life, you are life. So you're not giving up, you're giving to yourself. You're giving life to you, breath to you, the physical to you. So through clearing the mind, your bubble, and living in the physical, one and equal, as all life, you're not giving up anything. You're giving to yourself life. And then we get to the point of your video where you bring up the point of scarcity and how money has to exist because scarcity exists. And it's not about some have and some doesn't have. It's about scarcity. For instance, you bring example like you say, money gives you the option of choosing who's gonna use the scarce resources. Now that's just a joke, right? Because animals, which there is billions of, and bugs, which there is billions and trillions of, live without money, and yet they live without money. They don't need money to decide who's gonna get what resources because they live in harmony with each other, in equilibrium. So humans, that is less than the bugs and animals, suddenly needs more than everything else on earth. So there your money theory doesn't make sense at all, because let's take one rhino eats more than 10 people a day. He's doing just fine without money. But the reason we need an equal money system is not because of scarcity. No, there's enough food. I mean, the farmers here in South Africa, if a farmer doesn't sell his bread, they throw up to 5 tons of bread away a week. There's no scarcity. There's scarcity in money, yes. So an equal money system will take away the created scarcity, which is created by politicians and economists, whoever wants to benefit from any of this crap, and they create a scarcity and tell everybody that's how it is, and they believe it, which you are one of them. So equal money will simply give everyone the opportunity to get basic needs: food, water, a house, clothes, work, education, labor. Not what they desire, So from there we will work, and we need money to start the system, because we cannot simply take away money and say, okay, live together. We don't even know how to love thy neighbor as thyself. So we have to get a system in that forces us, in a way, to love thy neighbor as thyself, so we can learn how to care for each other, how to support each other, how to live in equality with each other, how to deal with the shit we currently have, such as mental illnesses that we've created. Everything that we have created currently needs to be worked through for an equal money system, which will create a support structure which will support everyone equally, and money will be the point of equality, of gaining equal resources, instead of it being abused currently, because only a few can profit in a capitalistic system, which no one is actually capitalizing, because the whole world is in debt. So capitalism is in its, well, it's fucked. So an equal money system will bring in a system that supports, that allows us to recreate and design a world that works best for all life here on Earth. And from there, in 100 years, 200 years, we can take money away, because then we can trust ourselves, we can respect ourselves, we can live in honor and dignity with ourselves, to be able to do that without money, where humbleness will be achieved. So common sense is simplicity. It's the obvious. People have been taught to not look at the obvious, but to look at everything else except that. To sound smart, intelligent, knowledgeable, wise, instead of just simply simple common sense. Pick the stick up.